in Northwest Arkansas. Welcome to your Village Highlights. We're coming to you from beautiful Bella Vista. I'm Ginger Hamilton, and along with my husband,
Richard Beck.
We're going to bring you some exciting events from around this area. I must point out at the very beginning that this program is able to be on because of grants from Bella Vista POA and the city of Bella Vista, and we are very pleased with that. We have some highlighters today that we're pleased with too. We have Dee Dee Matney, who's executive director of our Bella Vista Animal Shelter. We have Diane Hine, who is the editor and a few other things she'll tell us about this morning, of our Bella Vista Public Library. And we have Matt Young, the esteemed principal of our esteemed Cooper Elementary School.
Don't build him up too much.
Oh, okay. You take care of that. Yes, let's start with Dee Dee over here and her friend. Tell me about your little friend there.
This is Copper. Copper is a 7-year-old Chihuahua that we received 2 years ago out of a hoarding situation. He was one of 17 Chihuahuas that we took in out of Rogers. One of their owners had passed away, the other owner was ill, and unfortunately they were not able to take proper care of the dogs. They were living in their own filth. They had no water to drink. They were drinking Dr. Pepper when they were found. The good news is, after 2 years, Copper is finally going to his forever home next Saturday.
I think that's wonderful, and I think we should say that was not a commercial for Dr. Pepper.
No, it was not. Or at least not as a nutrient for animals.
Absolutely not, no. Not sure about humans, as a matter of fact.
But Copper is a wonderful little dog, and we wanted to just show everyone that a forever home can come along, even after 2 years, and even after having lived in a very, very bad situation.
Well, this is a lucky little dog here.
He is.
You had a great big dog on a couple of times ago. What happened to that great big dog?
That was Joan in the Great Pyrenees.
Yes.
And she has been adopted and finally gone to her forever home as well.
Wonderful.
So we've had some good news. We've had good news.
You had a couple of puppies you were going to tell us about.
Yes, we've had some sad news as well. Unfortunately, in the animal shelter business, we see the good and the bad. We had 2 Blue Heeler mixed puppies brought into us last week. Both of them have demodectic mange, which is a hereditary form of mange. However, they had it so badly and it was untreated their entire lives that they were very close to death. And they had to go to Sugar Creek Animal Hospital and spend all last weekend. One little girl, Chantilly is her name. We have Chantilly and Lacey, and Chantilly had demodectic mange so badly that her eyes were swelled closed. We're still not 100% certain if she's going to suffer some eye loss or vision from that, but they are back at the shelter now. They're, of course, being treated, getting baths daily to help with their skin conditions. They actually, we found out, were puppies that came out of Bentonville. The lady that brought them to us did lie to us about where they were found. However, she did get them out of a bad situation. We're now working on some anonymous tips we have received and are very close to what we believe are locating the actual owners of the dogs. When they're found, they will be charged with criminal felony animal cruelty.
They may have other animals in the home.
It's very possible, yes.
Wow. You know, I must put in a good word, though, for that Sugar Creek Animal Hospital. They do marvelous work in working with the animal shelter.
Yes, they have. They have been our shelter vet for a very long time, and they are just wonderful. They take care of our animals just tremendously.
As you mentioned, this mange, this demodectic mange
Demodectic.
mange is hereditary. You said it can go away and stay away.
It can go away and stay away, or it can reoccur.
So you just keep watching it, but it can be taken care of.
Yes, it can. It can always be treated.
Yeah.
Always be treated.
Do you ever work with horses? I mean, obviously, I like horses here.
Not at the shelter, no. I have had horses myself growing up, and I have a sister out in Utah who's a horse nut, And she raises horses and breaks horses and trains them.
I have 2 or 3 fractures in my back from doing something like that, yes. But you don't get anything into the animal shelter, any calls about horses?
We do receive some calls. Generally, they're more concern calls about animals in the county, and when we receive those, we refer them to the proper authorities
Good.
to do welfare checks, that sort of thing.
Well, I'm going to ask you something I haven't asked you before. What gives you the greatest satisfaction in your job?
Being able to see someone like this little guy go to his permanent home.
Oh, yeah, I bet that is satisfying.
It is, very much so.
Well, what's the most fun in your job?
The most fun is taking animals out so they can get adopted. When you're an animal lover, you want to do everything in the world you can to improve their lives. And that's why I work at the shelter. That's why all the staff works at the shelter.
That's true.
And they're a very dedicated staff of people that work there 365 days a year. There are no such things as really holidays for the shelter staff.
Oh, no.
There is someone there every Christmas, every New Year's, every 4th of July. Someone will be there to take care of the animals.
Yeah, they need their care. Just because it's a holiday doesn't mean a day off.
That's right.
That's good. Well, you got a cute little one there.
And of course, if people don't know where we're located at the Arkansas-Missouri state line at the Bear Hollow stoplight. You would make a left turn or head west and come to the shelter. Our hours of operation are Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Is there any big event coming up soon?
Well, yes, there is. We just came off of our golf tournament where we raised $5,843.
Wow.
So we're very pleased
Great.
with that. And we have our charity garage sale coming up July 11th and 12th at number 2 Leafield Lane in Bella Vista. That is Anita Wirt's home. Anita works at Village Insurance, and this is I think our 9th garage sale we've had at her home. So we are accepting items at the shelter, or you can drop them off at Anita's, and we'll be having that sale on Friday and Saturday.
The address again?
Number 2 Leafield Lane.
Leafield.
Yes, it's just
Leafield
up,
Lane.
just up Trafalgar.
Oh, up Trafalgar, okay.
It's very easy to find. Her home sits on the corner of Leafield and Trafalgar. It will start at 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. both days. And we certainly look forward to a lot of great donations and a lot of people to come out and purchase items from the garage sale. All the proceeds, again, benefit the animal shelter.
That's wonderful. Well, Dee Dee, I love having you on the show and love having your little friend on the show, too.
Thank you so much.
And I'm so pleased. I want to thank you and every one of the staff members for the help that you give to our animals that are in need around here.
Well, it is our pleasure to take care of the strays out of Bella Vista and help all the animals we can, even like Copper, who came out of Rogers.
Yeah.
We do help other area animals. As a matter of fact, when I left the shelter, we had just gotten in a puppy out of the Gravette area, and she's going into a foster home. She's a tiny little dog. She's probably only about 8 weeks old. So
She'll need care.
she will need care.
Yeah.
So she's going to a great foster mom.
Well, super. Thank you again so much. And well, I'm sure we're going to see you around here again.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Well, I'm going to go over to Richard here, and I'm going to say a couple of things even before Richard does, because he's going to tell you something about our station. We have some wonderful programs that I don't think people are taking advantage of at all. One thing I want to tell you first is, if you recall, those of you who watched, we had a fashion show, a couple of fashion shows, and as a result of the fashion shows from the building with Jackie Queen right here in Bella Vista, she had a drawing the last time for $100 gift certificate, and it was won by Alita Whitney. She won the $100 gift card. And I can say one thing, which was impressive. The number of entrants she had this time doubled over the number of entrants we had with the first fashion show. So people are watching our program, and that's very important to see. Now, Richard, you're going to tell us about some programs people are missing.
Yes, I selected 3 programs I wanted to talk about, and then 2 particular programs, a little more information. Let's talk about children programs. One in magical Slouch County. Wow, we have a sheriff where, good always wins out over evil with Sheriff Stephen J. Have the child take a look at it one time. Have your children look at it, neighbors' children. See, I think you'll enjoy it. Now, what about, and this is probably a sexist remark, but for females, well, for women or for cooks in general, it's called Tina Cooks, C-O-K-S, down-to-earth show about cooking.
I must say my husband is an excellent cook, and he doesn't hesitate to do so, so I don't think it's a sexist remark.
Well, but some people would take it that way. But no, men can look at the show too. Another outlet, it's not going to be, long drawn out. You don't have to have everything in the kitchen, but just sit down one time. I think you'll get hooked on it. Now, let's do the other part of a male show, which could also be a female show, called The Garage with Steve Butler. Interesting show. I like to tinker around. A lot of people want to get in the garage and do. He does a lot about woodworking, and I think that males and females, maybe even children, teenagers, might want to look at things you can build. You're not required having a real expensive material. It's kind of like going into maybe a 7th or 8th grade shop class where you learn something about woodworking. But the two programs I want to spotlight are the two you talked about today. Sponsors the program, POA and the city. Let me talk about the Bella Vista City Council. You can read about it in the newspaper, but it's also presented on this channel. It's taped. It's on Monday nights, I believe, 6:30 in the evening. Why tune in to City Council when you read about it in the paper? Well, a couple things are happening here in the future. New business. What about lots being zoned or rezoned? That's important to a lot of neighbors when they get in. What about the new fire station we built? We know somewhere down the line there's going to be some type of millage placed on it. Maybe if you tune in, listen to the program, you get it firsthand. Not what your neighbor tells you, but you can hear it live right on our program, what's happening. The other one would be the Bella Vista POA. I think that's important. If you live here, there's about 26,000 people here. A lot of things happen to POA. A lot of times it's just information people are passing down. Maybe you tune in and listen to one of their programs to see what's happening. Yeah, I have it down the third Thursday of each month. I believe that's correct. Again, you need to be informed out there, and this program will do it. We know we just had an election before. Things happened. The assessment was defeated, something like 39% or something, 7,000 to 5,000 rough figures. Well, we know it's going to come back again. Stay tuned, listen in, see what POA is going to change or not change when they present it to us again. I guess the sad part of it, when you think about it, there were like 25,000 plus members, and ballots which are mailed out, we had less than 10,000 coming back in. That's not a very good representation. That's better than we do on national elections, but 10,000 out of 25, that's all the people. Maybe if you watch the program, you'd understand a little about it. We know we're going to elect a new mayor of the city. I should have added this back for the city. Mayor Anderson stepping down. There'll be a new one, so tune into that. And we did elect 4 new members of POA. So here are things you can find out right off the bat when they're happening if you tune into the station. So Ginger, those are the two I think.
Okay, I have one more. I'm going to help the POA and the City of Bella Vista and our own TV station with this. This was an article that was in the USA Today, and it talks about our town being a selected one. The town has all the amenities, says local Caldwell Baker real estate agent Doyle Yates. We have mountains, lakes, low crime, a minor league baseball team, and a major league sports. We have the University of Arkansas right there. We have Crystal Bridges. We have a little bit of everything around here. And one thing we're looking for at our TV station is we can use what we call roving reporters. And that's something so simple as if you enjoy taking pictures, it doesn't have to be a camcorder, it can be just a snapshot, something interesting that happens in your neighborhood or close by, or you're driving by and you see it. Take a picture of it, bring it to us. We might be able to use it, we might not. But if you ever had a hankering to be a reporter, this is your opportunity to give it a little try. So roving reporters we can use. It could be that your neighbor does a beautiful spread in the yard, or you see a little puppy being helped by some person. You take a picture of it. So see what you can do. Anyway, I'm going to now switch over to our library, so I'll be back with you in a moment. But we have Diane Hine here from our public library, and that is a spectacular thing that's going on there. Diane, tell us what's going on at the library now.
Thank you, Ginger, for asking me to inform your viewers about exciting events taking place at the Bella Vista Public Library in July. This and more information can be found in the July newsletter, which will be available throughout the village during the month of July. The 2014 Children's Summer Reading Program is underway, and children 11 and younger are encouraged to register today at the library. The youngsters will receive a reading log to record the books they read during the month of July and August. For preschoolers, their parents can record the books being read to them. The second part of the summer reading program is open to all ages. Families are encouraged to attend these free events at the library. We'll wind up June's events with the Didgeridoo Down Under, a high-energy Australian-themed show on Saturday, June 28th at 10:30 a.m. And instead of our usual preschool story time, which takes place every Friday morning, we'll have a special program on Friday, July 11th at 9:30, when the Sugar Free All-Stars will entertain us with their musical show. And then Tommy Terrific's Wacky Magic will return to the library on Saturday, July 12th at 10:30 in the morning. After that, Saturday, July 19th at 10:30, the Mad Science of Northwest Arkansas will bring their unique way of making science oh so much fun to learn. If only we had had them around when I was in school, I might have enjoyed science more. And then don't miss, this is for the whole family, all of these are for the family, but especially the mobile aquarium from the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission, which will be at the library on Wednesday, July 23rd, and they'll be there all day from 9 till 5. You won't want to miss this giant rolling aquarium. You won't want to miss that. So remember that the public is invited to all of these free events. Families, you don't even have to have a card for the library. Anyone is invited to show up at these. So check out the complete schedule that's in the newsletter, on our website, in the newspaper. It's everywhere. So be sure to come check out these free programs. So thanks so much, Ginger, for letting me tell your viewers about a few of the upcoming programs at the library in July. And remember that all of the programs are listed on the library's website at bvpl.org, in the Weekly Vista newspaper, and in the monthly Dickens Place Doings newsletter, which will be available throughout the village the month of July. And I'd like to say how much I've enjoyed working with you and Richard over these last few years, Ginger. And I'm excited that you two are retiring again. And you'll have lots of free time to enjoy traveling and other new activities,
Well,
too.
we intend to, and I intend to get back into brain teasers because I just love it. I want to say one thing, though.
Yes.
That Young Readers program.
Yes.
I've been doing the Adult Story Hour, which I will also be stopping, but the first time I gave a story to the adults, I had one come up to me and say, you know, I didn't realize how much I'd lost the ability to imagine. Because TV and movies tell you everything that's going to happen. You don't have to think about what somebody looks like or imagine what's happening there.
Right.
And because of radio, you did. And just by reading when you're very young, it builds the imagination. It's a pity to lose that as you grow up and lose that part. Could you tell me,
right.
Did you say the Mad Scientist or Mad Science?
They call it Mad Science of Northwest Arkansas.
Can you give me any idea of what kind of thing they do?
And it's some guys who, well, let's see, last year there was a science experiment with a roll of toilet paper. You just never know.
Should we go into that?
They just have all kinds, well, the kids love it, I can tell you. And they're all very visual, and the kids love it. But the adults, too. It's kind of like, to me, a Disney program. It's catered for the youngsters, but the adults get something out of it, too. So all of our programs are catered to children. It is the summer reading program, but it's for families. So be sure to come by. All of these programs are free. Most of them are 10:30 on Saturdays, but some of them are on a Friday or a Wednesday in addition to Saturdays. So be sure to check out the schedule and come on by.
I want to inject one or
Sure.
ask one question. if the librarian, the new librarian, Roxy, is not viewing the program, they were going to make her review it. But how is Roxy to work with? We have a new librarian, and she's been introduced to many groups. You're an employee.
She,
That's unfair. You may not have a job the next time. Go ahead and give us a try. How does she work?
fortunately, I think she's terrific. And I think she's going to be a wonderful asset to the library, as she already is. But, you know, it's very hard to choose the right type of personality, or it's a challenge to choose the right personality to deal with the patrons of our library, because we have volunteers, which most libraries don't have such a huge volunteer staff. They're used to working with paid staff. And it's different working with volunteers. We wanted someone who would be out there, a public person with the patrons, and someone who's very personable and not just someone who's, you know, getting grants or someone who's dealing with paperwork. Someone who's a very visual presence. And she's wonderful. She's wonderful.
We've met her 2 or 3 times now in
Yes.
official capacities. and
Then
she
you
comes
know,
up.
she's very
I-
personable,
But
very-
I want to take with someone that's employed.
Yeah.
See, that's it. No, I think.
Well, she's just as perky and vivacious, and that's not. It can easily get down on the floor with the kids, and you know, that's what we're looking for. Not like the old time perception of a librarian. You know,
Right.
this is someone who's very very hands-on. And if y'all haven't come by and introduced yourself to her and met her, you're going to love her. She's going to be great.
She was there at my last adult story hour reading,
Yes.
and she ran into some fun with that one because we couldn't get the microphone to work. And we were down at the last minute before I was ready to start, and they were ready to tape. And all we could find that would work, there was a short in the receiver set, and RG, who's been filling out, was down there putting her fingers on it. As long as she sat there with her fingers on it, it worked. But I said, you can't do that for the whole hour while I'm reading. And we found out that Roxy probably needs learned a little bit more about the audio-visual parts of what's going on, because we were all confused standing there looking at this. Anyway, I think she's been fun, the part I've read, that
Yes.
I've worked with her. She certainly has
Yes.
been. She's certainly interested in learning and doing, and she's excited about what's going on at the library.
And she's calm under a crisis. You never know
Well,
what's
she
going to
was.
pop up. So
She was calm. I was the one that was in crisis. She was calm. I want to ask you something, because
Sure.
I know you do a lot of things. I always introduce you as the editor of that, but apparently you do a lot more than that. You said you do marketing and creative things, and you're
Yes.
one of 3 paid employees there. Is that correct?
we have a full-time director, and we now have actually 4 part-timers.
There is no such thing as part-time. We realize
That's
that.
right.
Yes.
We all kind of have our specialty, and my niche is, well, the creative end, the marketing, the promotions, coming up with, I've always got tons of ideas for programs, and then seeing that they're carried out, and 2 newsletters. I do Dwayne's newsletter, our library dog, Dwayne, and the regular newsletter, which is in its 12th year, and just things like that. I do what I can to help promote the library and its programs.
I want to ask you what I asked Dee Dee.
Mm-hmm.
What's the part of your job that's the most satisfying?
The most satisfying probably is seeing the response to anything that I created, whether it's the newsletters, getting the accolades from that, which I'm always very happy to hear when people are, and even when they say there's a typo, I'm still happy to hear it. And the programs that I created, seeing the response to those and the people who keep coming and just enjoy it year after year.
You should be pleased with Brain Twisters, because when I was going there as regularly as I could, people came there in advance, 20 minutes in advance, to compare their answers before
Yeah.
anybody else got started. You had quite a following. It's
Oh,
probably
yes.
even increased since then.
Yes, we've just finished our 6th year, and we have some who've been here from the beginning. Many have moved away, but we now have a younger group, it seems like. A lot of the seniors have moved away to be closer to their children elsewhere in the country. But now we have ages from 40 to almost 90.
That's good. Well,
yeah.
people still have brains.
That's right, and we still want to keep what we have.
One more question. What's the
Sure.
most fun in your job?
The most fun is, I think, also the saddest. The most fun is dealing with the patrons. And the 18 years I've been with the library, many patrons have come and gone. And that's the sad part, are the ones who've gone. volunteers and the patrons. That's the hardest thing about the job, but it's also the most wonderful because it's a library family. And you will meet wonderful people, whether it's the patrons or just someone who comes in just for help one particular time for a particular problem. But especially the long-term friendships that are just, it's just a wonderful, wonderful, cohesive family. It really is.
Well, Diane, it's been great working with you. You have come so far. I can't believe it. You're wonderful. You're doing a great job.
Thank you.
And by saying you've come so far, she was a motor mouth when she first came here, trying to give you everything that went on in the library, which is not a possibility. And she's learned to really put that down, so we really get some great information from you that we can absorb and do. So I want to see that mad science, and I want to see the aquarium, and I hope your young kids just come in there and
Yes.
really sign up. Thank you again, Diane.
Thank you so much.
You'll be around.
Yes.
Thank you. Well, Richard, I think you have another person over there you want to put down, because I built him up too much.
I'm not sure I want to put him down, but I'm not, well, this is Matt Young. Most people know Matt. He's a dynamic principal at our Cooper Elementary School. We're glad you're here. I am not going to ask you the question, your most enjoyable part of your job, because I'm going to tell you your most important. Just stick with it. We've been doing the program now about 3 years, and back in 2012 we started. You've been on here long before that. I think you grew up in the television station, besides running the building. When I closed the first program we did together, I made a statement. I went back to look at it back, and I said, Matt, thank you for being our guest today. I hope you'll be back next month. And he came back next month, and the month after, and he's still been coming back. Now, it's 3 years. I can't get rid of him. So this must be one of the most important things you do in life. Matt, glad to have you here, partner. A lot of things happen over at your school. I want to mention one that I think is very important, and you're very instrumental in running a good school, good staff. You have a lot of things happen. And we noticed in Monday's paper here, shovels the dirt, going to build a new high school. Okay, it's not in Bella Vista, we understand that, but it's part, our kids will end up going there, some of them, maybe the people in the Highlands area, depending on the boundary lines. I think a lot of that goes back to you, the way you and your staff, certified staff, teaching staff, everyone in the building, the way they treat the kids in Bella Vista and other people. I think you get the maximum out of, if you know anything about school business, you check back and look at, social and economic stats and so forth. It seems to me, but reading all the reports and what you're doing, you're getting almost the maximum out of those students. I want to thank you very much on our behalf of it.
Thank you, and I want to thank our community. Monday would not have happened without Bella Vista. When we think about millage elections and we look at the history of school millage elections, that was the first millage election for the Bentonville schools that's ever passed in the Bella Vista. There's been some that have passed, but in our precincts in Bella Vista, they did not pass. And for any millage from anywhere, for every precinct to vote yes, that's huge. For the majority to vote yes, it's huge. And for me, for our community, to think about how far we've come as a community in really embracing our kids and families. When we talk about just in Bella Vista, K through 12 kids, there's 2,900 kids that go to the Bentonville School District. 2,900. Now, when I moved here 9 years ago, I can tell you my street makeup was not like that. And just to see how our community has embraced that change, and to me, we're like a perfect hybrid community. We have young family and we have retired families, and we're living together. And I think the things that I can learn from my neighbors are so powerful that I would not learn in Bentonville. I would not learn in Centerton. I would not learn somewhere else. And I think on the opposite side, in a traditional retirement community,